am back with Mirai today. She was sulking a little bit because Cindy got sort of front stage yesterday, so the other two are moaning, so I promised her one each day. So it is Mirai today. She's going to help me. She's already got hold of number 22 there. They are all little gifts in this last one as far as I'm aware, so I haven't got a clue. At least when it's yarn, you know you're going to get yarn. I have not got the foggiest idea what's in these, so I think we need to get it ready. She's already got hold of it, so let's get it out of her little fingers and see what she's got. Come on, Mirai, thank you very much. Arm down now. Shall we have a look what's in this? Want to have a look? So you can be looking at the camera and wave. There you go, she's waving there. So we have day 22. Just check there's nothing there before I rip it. So I'm just going to go for the rip again. Put the paper down there. I've got so much things to clean up before Christmas, it is ridiculous. Ooh, what have we got? Ooh, what's this? Right, so it's got a little saying on it. Is it a magnet? Is it a badge? It's a little badge. Now again, it looks like it may be for the knitters, so that's going to end up going in as a knitter's present for me at some point. It says set up, front, purl on, back, knit on, repeat. You're not going to read that, are you? I don't think. You can never go if you can read it. So we have a knitting based and themed badge there. So obviously for you knitters out there, which predominantly Rosie's Moments is designed for, it's perfect. Let's say I just have a product because I think the yarn is so lovely and it's well worth it for the yarns. That's why I do the monthly subscription as well when I can. So we have a badge there. Would you like to hold that for me there, Mrs? There you go. Oh, she's not holding it. Behave. Ta-da! So we have Mirai there posing with our new little gift out of our day 22. Only 2 left. So it's going to have to be Shitosi tomorrow. And then I've not a clue what I'm doing for the last one. I've still got to work some of the tutorials out. So I will see you very soon. Have a happy Christmas. 21, and we have a little snowman coaster. He's nice and simple. I've actually used felt for his detail. These are actually only glued on. I would recommend stitching on if you wanted them to be a little bit more permanent, which is what I will be doing later, but time restraints as they are at the moment, I've ended up gluing in. Obviously the nose is the orange yarn and I have my glittery, both being double knit yarns, and using a 3.5mm crochet hook there. I've also got on the table my gorgeous yarn that I got from my Rosie's Moments. This is the last yarn in the collection and it is a larger skein. It's double the size because it's for people to be able to finish the shawl that they are knitting. So that is gorgeous, and obviously my number 21 with it, so I'll pop that to one side. And then I've got my usual needles, scissors, stitch marker, which today's is a little Christmas jumper from what Mustard made, little cabochon there, because we do need a stitch marker for this one. So we're going to get off on with this. I'm going to move my needles, my scissors and the white wool for now, because we're going to be starting with the orange for his nose. It's nice and simple, this pattern. Let's move him over there so you can see him, but he's not in our way. Here we go. So we're starting like we always start, with our slip knot on the hook, not too tight. And we're going to start with the 2 chain. A little bit amigurumi-esque this, so it is going to be working in a spiral after the nose. We do need to finish the nose first. So we're going to go 6 double crochets into the ring. 1, 2 into the first chain actually, isn't it? 3, it does make a ring though. 4, 5 and 6. Now we're going to go 2 into each of those 6 to give us the 12. So we've got 1, so it's 2 in each one. We have 2, 3, 4, 5 and just one more, and 6. So that gives us 12 stitches. Tighten up that knot at the beginning there, and I'm going to just do a slip stitch into there because I want to fasten this off. It keeps sticking to everything. My scissors have actually become magnetised now. Couldn't find my needle anywhere earlier and it was stuck to the scissors, so It's sort of handy if you've lost something, but a bit of a nightmare when it keeps catching. So I'm just going to fasten that off there. Up to you if you want to start stitching in at this point. Sometimes that is a good idea, but I'm not going to overly worry about it. So I'm going to move on to my gorgeous sparkly yarn, my favourite white yarn for Christmas or for any time, to be honest, because it's got a lovely sparkle in it. Round the hand as per, and I'm going to just choose a space just after that slip stitch. And I'm going to be doing 2 double crochets into each one. So I'm going to do a chain there. Then I'm going to do 2 crochets. Be careful there, because I don't want you to count that as 3. There is only 2. That is a chain. And then we're going to do 2 in every single one. So we're going to get 24. So this is a 3rd one for 2. 4th. 5th. And 6th. I'm just going to move my yarn because it's pulling. So that's 6. That's halfway there. We do need to make sure we get the right number here. 7. And if anything's going to be altered, this is when it has to be done. 8. 9. 10. 11. And we should have one more, which looks about right. Yep, because we don't want where that slip stitch is. We want just after. So it sort of just does drop down a little bit, but there's not a huge amount we can do about that. There are different ways of joining. I've tried so many different ways. I don't know which way I prefer and which I don't. But I think that is adequate. We're now going to have another increase round. Now this is a weird one. You can pop your stitch marker if you want, but I'm not going to do it just yet, because we're going to do 2 and a 5 4 times. So we have 2 in this first one. Let's do it. 1 and 2. And then 1 in each of the next 5. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. 2 in the next one. And 1 in the next 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So that's 2 sets. Don't worry if it starts to look a bit square, because it will do at this point, but it will alter. So we have 2 in this one, 1 in the next 5. This is our 3rd one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last one, 2 in this one, and then 1 in each of the next 5. We've got 1, 2, move it up a bit, 3, 4 and 5. Lovely. That's perfectly round now. Well, it's not perfectly round, but we've gone round. Like I say, it does look a little square at this point. I'm going to pop my stitch marker in, because it does make life easier, because I don't have to think about counting so much when I'm trying to sort of teach you. Right, there we go. Stitch marker is in for our marking. Now next we're going to do very similar to the last one. It's going to be 2 in 1, 1 in 6. So we've got 2 in that one. Oh, be careful that stitch marker. That's the only problem. Stitch markers are sometimes a bit big. So that's 2. And then we want 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. We're going to have another 2. So this is our 2nd set. So we got 1 and 2 in the same stitch. Then 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. 2 in the next one. Yarn doesn't want to run. I'm having to keep pulling it out a little bit. It's because I've wound it round it. And then 6 individual ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. And last time, 2 in this one. And then we should have 6 individual stitches, I hope. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. That looks a bit alright. Sometimes a stitch marker, if you don't put it in quite in the right place, it doesn't always work. Like I say, it will look square at this point. That's not a bad thing. That means you're actually increasing in the right places. I'm just going to grab my pen, and I just want to mark off what I've just done, because otherwise I'll forget. I've got a shocking memory. I've got it all written down here, but my writing's appalling. We're now going to do again similar, but this time 2 in 1, then 7 individual. So you can see how the pattern is working there. So we have a 2, then I need 7. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Set 1. Second set, 2 in 1, then 7. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. That's our second set. You can see the shape coming nicely now. 2 in the next one. Then we have 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Now we have one more set to go, so hopefully it's going to fit. So 2 in that one, and then 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So that's another round done. I'm going to keep marking them off, because when I tried it earlier I did miss a round, and then that can make quite a mess. We have another one where it's going to be just a 4, so you can see we've got a lovely square shape. Looks like a funny little fried egg at the moment. We're going to do 2 in 1 and 1 in 8. There's definitely a pattern forming. So we have 2 in that one, then 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. 2 in the next one. It's shaping up nicely, this is now. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. There is 2 more sets to do. And we do 2. And then we do 8. 1, 2. Your counting is important in this one. If you can, make sure it's nice and quiet. It makes life easier. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. And our last corner. So we're going to have a 2 there. And then we're going to have 8 stitches. So it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Right, I'm going to move my stitch marker now, because we've gone quite a few rounds up, because I'm going to slightly change the combination of the pattern. So get that stitch marker ready, because what we're going to be doing next, we're going to be doing 5 increases. So we're going to do 2 in 1 and 1 in 7. Oh, it's running around a bit, so it looks a bit different again. And this will start to take away from the square into more of a round shape. So we do 2. Then we're going to do 7. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So that's our first one. Number 2. 2 in that one, then 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. 2 in the next one. So this is our third one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Number 4 coming up. 2 in this one. So you can see I'm not increasing on the corners now, so it's slightly changing its shape. So was that a 2? It was a 2, so we need 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, and our last increase, 2 in there, and hopefully we have 7 left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. That looks pretty good to me. So you do need to stretch these a little bit when you've done, and you will maybe need to sort of flatten them out, or if you actually do block your work, that's another way of doing it. I'm just marking it down again. We don't have many more rounds to go. I think we have, let me have a look, we have 3 in our final one, so that's pretty good. The next one is going to work on a 5 as well, 5 increases, and it'll be 2 in 1 and 1 in 8. So you can see it's sort of repeating how it was before, but we're doing it 5 times this time, not the 4 times. So we have a 2, we have an 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So our second time, and then our 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. That's another set. 2 in 1 for your increase, then 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. You'll start to see the squareness disappearing now. 2 in this one and 1 in 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. 2 in 1 and 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got a bit of curling going off there, but it will flatten. 5. Oh, I nearly lost it. 5, 5, 5. Remember, I don't know whether 5 or 6. I'm going to say 5, 6, 7 and 8 again. So that's another round there. So we can get rid of that one. We have 2 more rounds and they're going to follow the same pattern. It gets a little bit tedious, but it gives you your shape that you're wanting. So it's going to be 1 in 2, 1 in 9, 2 in 1. 1 in 2, did I just say? I did. Me repeat that again. 2 in the next stitch. 1 in the next 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. 2 in the next one. Then we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. A 2 again. So it's always 2 in 1, and then the amount of numbers required for each round, which is 9 in this case. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. We are nearly there. Can you see how we're almost going a little bit sort of, is it hexagonal, would that be? I'm not quite sure. Hexagonal, is that 5? I'm really rubbish where geometry is concerned. And that was 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. 2 in the next one, and this will be our last set for this one. And then there is only one more round after this one. Well, until apart from the edging round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Right, can you see how the stitch marker position does sort of change when you're increasing? So you do have to occasionally move it up, just to be careful. Our last round on this sort of style now is going to be 2 and 1 in 10. So we have 2. And then we have 10. Oh, hang on, I think I went in the same stitch then. Let me double check. Oh, that's the 2. Alright, so it's this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. We have a 2, 2 in 1 for our increase, and then we're going to have 10 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, move the yarn again, 6, 6, 6, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. 2 in the next one, and then 10. We're over halfway around this round now. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Looking good. 2 in 1 for our increase, and then 10. 1, 2, 3. We're on 17 minutes. That's not bad, you know. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Last one, last one of this sort, of course. So we have 2 in 1. We have 1 in 10. Or 2 your stitch marker, because remember we moved it, so we know your stitch marker's in the right place. I would recommend, to be honest, moving it every 2 rounds, because you've got increases. The stitch marker doesn't move, but your start position does. So it is important the stitch marker gets moved, otherwise you are actually going to lose stitches. I'm going to do 1 more there. Alright, I'm going to take a stitch marker out because I don't really need it for the next bit. But what I'm going to do, can you see it's a little bit wibbly wobbly? And you're like, well, how's that going to be a coaster? Before we do our final round, which is going to be a slip stitch round, I'm just double checking what I've got. It's a slip stitch round. But I want to give it a little stretch first. Because it's yarn, it is quite flexible for the stretching, so it is quite good. This is where, as I say, if you do block your work after this next round, it's a good time. But I do find before I do the slip stitch, give it that stretch, because otherwise the slip stitch will be too tight, because it is a very tight stitch. You can always flatten it or put it in a book or something like that afterwards. I found just popping them in a book for a period of time, if you've got that time span, is a great way of doing it. So we're going to just slip stitch every single stitch, and I don't want to do it too tight. Remember, slip stitch in, you're pulling it, you're just pulling it through. So in, grab the yarn, pull it through. In, grab, through. 1, 2, through. Try not to make it tight, because it's like when you do a starting chain or anything like that, it's really easy to do it tight. Try and relax the hands when you're doing it, because if it does get too tight, that is when it's going to pull on the work as well. This final round just literally rounds it off a little bit as well. I haven't kept my stitch marker in because you'll feel when you round, because it sort of gets in the way. This one looks like it's slightly more geometric than my other one, but the other one has had a good bit of stretching and shaping, so that's probably why there's the difference there. So nice and relaxed. I'm not pulling it tight. I don't want it tight. There are times that would be necessary to do some sort of shaping, but in this point it needs to be relaxed. I think we're almost there actually. In fact, we might actually be there. Soon find out, because like I say, you can't get into the slip stitch the same. So as soon as you get to a point where you're going, it won't go in, you're probably at a slip stitch, and that isn't yet. It's caught, a filament caught then. So it still looks a bit like a fried egg at the moment. Keep it nice and loose. So I can feel I sort of tighten up. I am a little bit tight with my work. I need to relax a little bit. Oh, I'm round because I'm now struggling to get in there. So I'm going to do that last one, and that is that. Apart from sewing in ends, of course, everybody's favourite part. Now, as I say, at the moment, you're thinking, well, it's not going to sit flat. It will, believe you me. Like I say, if you do block your work, that is one way of doing it. So you're pinning it out and sort of dampening it, depending on which method you follow. But yeah, for some reason, it has come out a little bit more geometric, and I'm not quite sure why. But it should be fine. I've done all the rows exactly as I wrote it down for the previous lot. So I don't think that matters. I have seen some that are a little bit more like that anyway. In fact, look, it's come out slightly larger. Well, I don't know. So a bit of stretching, a bit of shaping. If you were pinning it down, you could pin these parts out I don't think it matters if it's a bit geometric, to be honest. Let's give it a little stretch. I know this one's had a lot more stretch. So after you've flattened this out, it's up to you. You can put these on before. Now, I know I've not really stuck these down very well. I only stuck them partially down for demonstration. So it's easy enough to do. But basically, let's see if we can get a couple off. Two little eyes, and then decide what sort of little coal mouth he's got. He could have a little bit of a sideways mouth going off, sort of like, oh, maybe that one, being a bit cheeky there. So you can play about with that. These have actually been cut with my die cutter. If it's not something you've got, I would recommend you do get one. Mine's just a basic Sizzix. I've had it about 5 years now. I think it cost about £50. I had it for a birthday present. And that little cutter has cut so many things. It's cut EVA foam, it has cut felt, paper, card. It's been absolutely brilliant. I mean, some of the foam we've cut is sort of about this thickness, so I mean it's really gone through the works. You need to invest in some nice quality dies, that's what I've done, for some nice geometric shapes, and I've just used it and used it and used it. Some of my dies are getting to a point where I do need to buy some more, but it does really give you a more professional finish if you are going to do that. So we need to get this one squashed out a bit, then we can get the facial details on. Again, you could add other facial details, whatever sort of takes your fancy, or what to you means is a snowman. So need to keep it nice and flat. I've seen a few with details on, and that's a bit lumpy, and if you're standing a glass on, that's a bit of a risk. That's why I just kept it nice and basic with the face, with nice flat felt, because that would take a glass no problem at all. I'm going to give you a little preview if I can see him. I don't know where my little bear's gone. Tomorrow, oh, he's there on the tree. For my next one, ta-da! We have a little bear tree bauble. I thought he was quite cute. So that's going to be my next video I'm doing, so please look out for him, and I'll click on that notification bell. It's just down there, isn't it, Bear? It's just down here somewhere. If you'd like to see how he's going to come out, again, nice and quick, nice and simple, which is what the whole point of these projects are going to be. So I'm going to leave it at that today. Please like, subscribe and share, and please make some comments. I do love to hear the comments. I've heard one lady sent me a message saying she'd made a whole set of the little Ferrero Rocher ones that I did, the covers, to go in crackers, which sounds brilliant. What a lovely gift that's going to be for people. She made homemade crackers, so they're going to be cool. So please comment. It's nice to hear from you, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.